Explaining the nose ring theory. This is coming from the channel The Dadvocate. Let's go and jump into it immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's see where this goes.
Hey again, guys. I've got a fun one for you today that I think you're going to find interesting.
Sure thing.
Nose ring theory. And I just know that when I say that, half of you are going to be confused, and the other half of you somehow know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never heard of it before.
I need some context.
I will explain everything I've learned about this theory, show you some examples, and then give you my 2 cents on this whole thing. So to take you on the journey that I went down to get here, I'll show you the video that I first saw that introduced me to this whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm 24 years old.
Oh, that type of nose ring. Okay, yeah. We're here for that.
The video that I first saw that introduced me to this whole thing.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men specifically for probably about 5-6 years now, in a serious way.
Congratulations.
At the moment, my boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking, you probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other, they're not friends, they're not from the same area, they don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men.
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, listen, generally, if someone is interested in dealing with a woman that adorns herself with so much adornment, let's just say this here, silverware, that's a type, because I think you have to be a very specific type of man that would be completely interested in all of these dark colors, let's say, and how she's adorning herself. She doesn't exude femininity, guys.
Been reflecting a lot and trying to
That's
figure
the same
out
type of guy you're
what
dealing
like
with.
the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them has treated me horribly, okay? I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank, period. Otherwise, you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely like offended. They get offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means. And like, I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them. Like, they just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. Like, that is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you?
Why is she not given like an exact example, right? Because something tells me that she's just talking to talk. She's talking to the people that would see what see her speaking here, listen to her speaking, and actually understand whatever she's saying. Nothing, guys. Just understand. I don't hear a single like literal confirmation in any of her words here. She's just saying all of these broad things to galvanize whatever man-hating base she has.
I'm just like, I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but like, I can't handle it anymore, dude.
So in this video, this girl is describing her troubles with finding a good man. She insists that she doesn't have a type, that none of these men really have anything in common, but for some reason, in the end, they always end up treating her horribly. And this led many in the comments to speculate that it must be something about her that is the common denominator. And unfortunately, since it's such a short TikTok video and we don't really get much insight onto greater parts of her personality, and she's not very open about what her most major flaws are,
Right.
to figure out why she's attracting such mean men or why her relationships are always driven to turmoil, people began to theorize, because it's one of the most noticeable things about her, that it could potentially have to do with the amount of piercings she has. In fact, these two comments right next to each other say, the piercing theory is so true, with
Yeah, I
over
think it is.
700 likes. And again, don't know, don't care, nose ring theory with over 1,200 likes. So you might be wondering, like I did, what about having a bunch of metal in your face would cause someone to treat you poorly?
Because it's the people that do it, right? I think it's the type of people that generally do it. They are generally all victims. Like every single thing that they say is victim. Every single, like, what something bad happened in their life, and now that they have basically made that, for the most part, who they are. They have to consistently be a victim as much as they possibly can, right? And I think that's the type of group that seems to like thrive on that type of aesthetic.
I mean, sure, the style isn't everyone's type, but these men were clearly attracted enough to her to date her. So then what is it that's causing the relationships to not go well? So I decided to look into what these men were referencing when they talked about the piercing theory or the nose ring theory. And this was the top video I found.
Have y'all ever heard of the septum piercing theory? If you have a septum piercing, you may not want to look it up, but I'm always the last person to hear about shit. So this is common knowledge. It's dead ass. It's actually dead ass.
Okay.
Because it says that every person that has a septum piercing makes their trauma their entire personality.
And she agrees?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dead ass.
Like I said,
Right.
dead ass.
Right.
Damn,
Listen, accept
straight
it.
from the horse's mouth.
The bull's mouth.
Or maybe I should say straight from the bull's mouth, because you get it. And if
Well
even
played.
the person with the nose ring is saying it's true, I mean, there's got to be something there. And this
Right,
is
there has
just
to
even
be.
more hilarious when we take that theory and then reference back to the first video where the girl was making her relationship trauma her entire personality. Okay, that might have been a little reductive. After all, it was just one video. Surely her entire profile isn't like that.
Let's
Yo,
see.
you guys never told me how cool it is to have a dad. Like, this is a secret
What?
that's been kept from me.
cool?
Okay, I grew up with 3 moms.
I believe it.
My mommy issues are off the charts.
What does that even mean?
Okay, sure. I mean, so maybe
How do you
she
have
doesn't
3
have
mothers?
a dad and has a ton of self-proclaimed mommy issues, but that doesn't mean trauma's her entire person.
Guys, my math is not mathing right now. How do you have 3 mothers? Like, were you like, guys, help me out in the comments, guys. This is above my pay grade here. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. How do you have 3 mothers?
Personality.
I have psoriasis. Not like a little psoriasis, like all over my entire body. When I tell you, my whole body looks like this.
Okay.
So she has a bit of medical trauma too, but I mean, there's more to her.
I think
Right, it
normal
has
can
to
never
be.
happen to me. I think I attract chaos.
Okay, so attracting chaos, it might be a little
Oh,
red
geez.
flag, but I mean,
She's
there's
a
got to be
victim.
something normal here.
Right, it
Not
has
to
to
be a man
be.
hater or anything.
What is
Actually,
on
no,
your
fully to be
face?
a man hater. Fully to be a man hater.
Oh,
believe
okay,
it.
I guess she also just doesn't like men. I mean, you could have brought
Bro, I read that in the first 10 seconds of her speaking. All right.
that up when you were theorizing on why your relationships with men might be going poorly. I'm starting to connect the dots. Now, when I
Right.
first started looking into nose ring theory, I didn't think that I would take it seriously at all. I thought it would just be a good laugh. But the more I looked into it, the more I think that it might actually hold some weight, because I did find quite a number of studies that have strong correlations between individuals with a lot of piercings and tattoos and how they are perceived and who they attract. This study seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos scored significantly higher than those without for sensation-seeking and risk-taking behaviors. This other study that I found seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos, specifically women, scored significantly higher for extroversion and assertiveness, meaning they are more aggressive socially. This study that I found in Psychology Today examines how people with tattoos and piercings are perceived, and the most popular finding was that they are perceived to be more sexually promiscuous, and that they tend to attract people who are looking for more casual relationships than serious ones.
I can imagine
and
that.
many other studies seem to point to people with piercings and tattoos having higher correlations with impulsivity and more experience with trauma and adversity. This study from BMC Psychology seemed to find a strong correlation between body modifications and people who experienced childhood abuse and neglect.
Jeez.
And this one really stood out to me. This one found a notable prevalence of individuals with a high number of body modifications and borderline personality disorder. Now, this is not to say that individuals with piercings and tattoos are all degenerate problem children.
Right, guys, I am not a degenerate. I don't live off of my trauma. I am not a victim, but I have like 40 tattoos, bro. Like, I'm heavily tattooed. But I'm not like heavily pierced. I got my ears pierced and things like that, right? But yeah, guys, I don't have nothing on my face, right? I don't live off of trauma. I just went through a phase growing up where I was just like, you know what, hold on. I want a lot of tattoos. And I mean a lot. I have a lot of tattoos, guys.
Undeserving of love. I myself have a belly button piercing and an entire side piece, and I find myself to be pretty well adjusted and have had a lot of success in my relationships. But it does beg the question,
what did your side piece
could
think
there
of
be
it?
any legitimacy to the nose ring theory, or is it mostly just something that jerks shout at people they disagree with online when they happen to have a nose ring?
I think it's valid.
My ultimate conclusion? Probably both. Obviously, even with all of these studies and research papers, you're never going to be able to make a correct, sweeping blanket generalization about every one kind of person who looks a certain way. In the case of the first video we watched, where the girl is describing her issues with relationships with men, we know that people did at least initially find her very attractive, as she even cites at the end of the video that I cut off that both men and women have described completely falling in love with her. And when I first listened to her story, I wasn't even making any judgments about her physical appearance. I was truly waiting for the other shoe to drop of when she was going to describe some consistent patterns of behavior that might lead to all of this correlation. In her case, I definitely think that being a vocal man-hater was probably the linchpin in the disruption in her relationships with men, but certainly not all women with piercings and tattoos feel that way. In fact, here are some examples of super pierced and tattooed girls in very happy relationships with men.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I apologize. What in the...
What is this?
Doing my pretty boyfriend's eyeliner and realizing I finally feel safe, secure, and loved for who I am in a relation. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not this type of guy. I can't imagine my wife even making any solid attempt at all to think that I'm going to sit here and allow you to put makeup on my face, bro. I'm sorry. I can't do it. All right. Not happening here. You guys found the right ones, I'll tell you that.
Also, it's so funny how they always go for the nerdy gamer guys. But this is what makes the nose ring theory so complex, because if the first video were to be enough to prove that it's accurate, then all of these other videos should be enough to disprove it, right? At the end of the day, the nose ring theory is just that, a theory, an idea worth discussing. Is it true that people with a lot of tattoos and piercings tend to be a bit more rebellious, chaotic, and traumatized? Yeah, probably, but does it make them inherently undateable?
No.
No. Some of them are. Some of them are absolutely undateable.
Some of the extremes that we just encountered?
As with most things, it's a case-by-case scenario, and it's always more important to pay attention to how a person behaves or what they believe in than it is to try and find secret clues in how they look or dress. Anyway, that has been my analysis.
Okay, listen, I feel that what she said here towards the end here was absolutely solid. Obviously, you treat every single instance like it's a brand new instance. You never kind of want to kind of bring over your preconceived notions, specifically when you're encountering someone new that you've never met. Let them speak, let them tell on themselves, okay? That's kind of what that is here. Like, listen, if you're one of these individuals who have no problem and you like the idea of dating, or being around women that espouse the things that she espoused kind of towards the beginning, good for you. right? Let her do your makeup and your nails, bro. That's fine. Live your best life. That's your thing, right? But I can only give you my own personal opinion, and that'll never happen. Okay, can't do it. All right, like I specifically, about in the early 2010s, I was like, listen, guys, I don't know what's going on with America, but I'm moving. Okay, I left America, and I recently came back in like 2022 type of thing here, back and forth. And I specifically got married outside of here. I saw what was happening, and I was just like, guys, I don't want nothing to do with this, guys. Can't do it. Nope, I'm not spending the rest of my life dealing with that crazy nonsense, guys. Can't do it, guys. It's impossible. It should be not illegal, but it's impossible, guys. Right? Live your best life. If that's your thing, that's your thing. It's just, I just personally prefer a uber traditional woman. That's it. Traditional. Right? You don't have to work, live your best life, right? Here's the credit cards. I take care of the household. She takes care of the family, right? That's just, I was raised like this. This is kind of just what I that's what I wanted, right? So I went and got it, guys. But if this is your thing, this is your thing. I do definitely believe that the concept of the nose rings seems to kind of lean into some truth here, guys. 'Cause I do think that it's absolutely wild, right? Because again, when you encounter some of them, you're like, that's your opinion on life? That's crazy. I wonder if that would exist if the power went out for 3 days. Would you still try to maintain the nonsense you're espousing if you weren't in a Western country? I wonder. No, you wouldn't. You couldn't, right? Okay, so you're kind of relying on the benevolence of certain groups in America. That's what you're doing here. You're relying on it while telling them that they're terrible. And you're relying on it. Okay. Yeah, guys, none of this stuff makes sense outside of the modern world, guys. None of it does. It will never make sense. But we are in a modern world, and we've allowed everyone to feel so comfortable to have opinions that are absolutely crazy. And also at the same time, guys, I didn't realize it at like how crazy it actually was until I left. Like for my first long time, I moved to South Korea early in the early 2010s. Then I moved to Spain after that. I didn't realize how crazy we actually were, right? Large scale until I left and looked back, and I was just like, what are we doing, guys? Yeah, but either way, so when it comes down to the nose ring, though, it's weird because my wife has a nose ring piercing, but it's not specifically due to the weirdo stuff that the woman was talking about. It wasn't that. Apparently she has like a sciatic nerve pinch or so. I don't know. Something happened after she gave birth to our son. And apparently a specific piercing in a specific place, like acupuncture type of thing, works flawlessly for her because now she doesn't experience any type of sciatic nerve pain, like at all, after she got the piercing. So it wasn't about the weirdo stuff, okay? It was just about a specific thing that was needed for a specific moment in time. And now maybe it's a placebo, who knows, right? But it works for her. And she doesn't talk about it anymore. So it must work. And then she told her sister to do the same thing. And now her sister has the same exact piercing. And now they're both not talking about the same pain. So you see what I'm saying here, guys? It's obviously all subjective. You look at it how you want to look at it. But geez. Okay. But all right, listen, guys. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, we'll catch you guys later.